Jay Hiv, Stretford, Paddock. That is Joe Smith. Bournemouth 0, Manchester United 1. A fantastic goal from Casemiro. Moves United ever closer.
Inches.
Smell it. You can smell it to Champions League football next season. This is the live review. Get involved in the comments in the chat and let us know what you think. As we are recording this, or as we're live with this, I should say, the Liverpool game is still going on. It's 1-1 at the moment. If that changes, we'll give you an update.
3.5 minutes still to play in that game.
They are all over Villa at the minute, but we'll wait and see. But the main thing is Manchester United doing our job. We're now 1 point away, no matter what happens, from our last 2 games. I think, is it 1 point from our last 2 games?
That's if they draw.
All right, if they draw. If not,
if
one
Liverpool
win,
it's 3.
Worst case scenario, 1 win from our last 2 games, which are at home to Chelsea and Fulham, probably the worst Chelsea side I've seen in a long time, and a Fulham team that hopefully, they haven't got anything to play for in terms of staying safe or European football or anything. So hopefully that could be potentially an easy game. Well, let's talk about the Bournemouth game, though. That's what we're here to chat about.
Yes.
Make sure you are hitting that like, share, and subscribe button if you're not doing it already. We want to get to 700,000 subscribers by the end of the season. With your support, we can do that. Joe, it felt to me like a very sort of professional performance. Early goal. Yes, Bournemouth had their chances, and United were a touch sloppy at times, but by and large, there was only one really clear-cut Bournemouth chance. And I felt United did what we needed to do to just get the job done.
Yeah, it was a good performance from United. And that was sort of shown by the fact that on the watch-along, you're watching the game together, and we were relatively relaxed. We were having a bit of a laugh. It wasn't nail-biting. It wasn't one of those ones where every second feels like it could be, a draw coming back to bite us. It was, we scored the goal and never really looked like conceding. I think, like you said, they had a couple of chances. De Gea with a great save from the side of his leg, from Solanke, I think it was. But other than that, they didn't really do a lot. And I think going away from home to any team, especially a Bournemouth that's, I don't know if it's their last home game of the season, but a Bournemouth that's overachieved this season, that don't have to worry about, getting relegated or anything like that. They could just sort of play in a relaxed fashion. Going there, getting a comfortable win, was really good. And United didn't really make a lot of chances themselves, to be honest. But once you get that goal, it's not on you to make every chance. It's stopping them making their chance. And I think United did that pretty well. Yeah,
I agree with everything you just said, to be honest with you. I think that's the kind of performance that, if that had come under Sir Alex Ferguson, you go, you go to a little tricky ground, you get a 1-0, happy days. It's not one where you're going to remember it for the rest of your life. You go, do you remember that time we went to Bournemouth and got that 1-0? Yeah. But it's the 3 points we needed, because when you look at it, when you looked at the fixtures, and me and you've spoken about it so much over the last few weeks, it's driving us both mad. But you went, okay, our home record is phenomenal. Our away record against the bottom teams is quite good, but against the top teams is terrible. But it's the away games you worry about, because you think there's every chance that away from home Manchester United could lose or could drop points. So to go away from home, especially after the fact we lost to Brighton and we lost to West Ham on our last 2 away games, get that win, it's massive. Casemiro got the goal. Thought he played well today. Yeah, much closer to his best, I thought, Casemiro today. Especially first half. Jekyll and Hyde from him, haven't we? Yeah, especially first half. He was really dominant and pressing high and winning the ball back and doing a bit of attacking as well. The goal was absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. Like, for a man of, I know he's not that big, but he's a heavy bloke. He's probably, 90 kilos, close to 100 kilos. He's a big man. And the ball comes over and gets a deflection, so he has about half a second to rotate his body and get it in a position where he can do an overhead kick or a sort of bicycle kick or scissor kick, whatever you want to call it, into the top corner from 5 yards out. The sort of dexterity and the reading of the flight of the ball was phenomenal. Like you would expect to see that from a striker, not a defensive midfielder who is a big lad. And I thought it was a brilliant finish, and really just the sort of goal that maybe he needed as well. I know he's not a goal scorer. I know that he doesn't gain his confidence from scoring goals, but he's definitely someone that hasn't been quite at his best since that second suspension. No. I think scoring a goal, putting himself right in the forefront again of you're an important player for this team, which is exactly where he was before that, I think will be good for him, especially going into the FA Cup final in a couple of weeks. No, I agree. I think with Casemiro, it has been a little bit baffling. Sort of, or not baffling, as I should say, worrying, I think is the right word, how much those 2 red cards seem to have affected him, because his levels did drop off. He wasn't the same Casemiro that we saw sort of the Carabao Cup final, for example, where he was just amazing. And you're looking at it going, is it getting in his head? Has it bothered him a little bit? Because he was in tears, I think, after the Southampton red card. I think he left the pitch absolutely beside himself. So that is going to affect you. But thumbs up.
The game is finished 1-1 at Anfield, which means that we'll get the table up in just a second. There you go, perfect. As it stands, well, not as it stands, that is the table. Manchester United need 1 point from our final 2 games to guarantee top 4. Liverpool can only tie our current tally of 69 points. They're on 66, but they've played 37 games now. United 69 points, as you can see right there, with 2 games left to play. 1 draw will do it. 1 win will do it. 1 point will do it. That is a great position to be in. I know a win, 3 points would have still been, you'd expect us to do it, but now we can drop points in both of those games. In one of the, you know what I mean? 1 point is so different to 3 because before, if we'd have drawn in both of them, Liverpool could beat us. Now, 1 draw is ours.
It just relieves that pressure. Just relieves that pressure. You're not going into every game thinking, we have to win this game. However, I will say this. We cannot go into the Chelsea game thinking about a draw. No. Go into it, get at him. We've beaten Arsenal, we've beaten Barcelona, we've beaten Manchester City, we've beaten Liverpool, we've beaten Spurs at Old Trafford. We can beat Chelsea, who are mid-table. Not even, 12th. Yeah. We can beat them, and we should be beating them at Old Trafford. So go at him, get some goals, make it a night to remember. Thursday night, absolutely smash it, and then that's Champions League football done. And for the Fulham game, let's not forget as well, we've got that FA Cup final coming up. The Fulham game, you rest players. Yeah. You go, right, Marcus, Casemiro, Varane, Luke Shaw, Bruno, even Eriksen maybe. Just play the resis. I don't care if we finish 4th, as long as we've got Champions League football. Just play the resis, rest your players for that FA Cup final, because that is the big one in it against Manchester City. And then hopefully, we will stop them from doing the treble. Brilliant afternoon then for Manchester United. Yeah. Big result for us at Anfield with Aston Villa getting that big point. Going back to what you were saying about United, Garnacho came on. Yeah. Straight away, he just gets on the ball, gives you that little bit of impetus, relieves a bit of pressure. We'll talk about pressure being relieved then. He does that when he gets, because he sort of puts their defenders on the back foot. He's another outlet, Yep. Another good performance from him. He just, since he's come back from his injury, we had the game against Wolves, where he obviously got his goal, and then today, see what he's about. He's in the perfect sort of part of a player's career where he's doing the job you expect of him perfectly, which is he's a young lad. No one expects him to lead the team. No one expects him to be the one that changes everything every time. He's not a Rashford. He's not a Bruno. He's not a Ronaldo in the past. Or he's someone that basically go and enjoy yourself. He's got a free hit, and he can be wasteful at times. He gives the ball away, but these are all things that an 18-year-old should be doing. He's sort of finding his feet as a footballer. How many professional games has he played? 15, 20? Like, he's someone that is just in the absolute infancy of his career. And the great thing that he does, which is what he should be doing, is he is just dangerous every time he gets it. He gets the ball, he drives into the box. He gets the ball, he knocks it past the defender. Like, if you're a fullback in the 65th minute, 70th minute, whatever it was when he came on, your legs are just feeling a bit tired. You've had to keep your concentration for 70 minutes, and now you've got him coming at you, and every time he gets the ball, it's going past you, and you have to beat him to it. That is a horrendous position to be in. We've seen him, be the difference against City at home. It was his run and directness that got us that second goal. I know it was Rashford that scored it, but it was Garnacho's determination and drive. So I think him coming back into the squad is such a massive thing for United at the end of the season, and he's very much in the sort of will defend by attacking mould, isn't he? He's not someone that sits back and is, I'm going to keep possession. He just does it, and I think that's something, especially as a sub, especially as a youngster. Like I said, eventually he'll have to do more than that. But he's 18. He's still in his, like I said, his sort of career infancy. He's playing that role perfectly, and I think if United want to be dangerous for 90 or 120 minutes. We need players like him coming off the bench, being involved, because we saw it over the last couple of months while he's been out. If we're not 1-0 up or 2-0 up going to the last few minutes, we're sat back shitting ourselves. And then you see it exactly against Wolves. It's 1-0, United are sat back, defending, and all of a sudden you've got this perfect outlet on the counter-attack. 2-0, game over, game won. It's so good him coming back the way he has at the time he has as well. No, it is. He's been a breath of fresh air. Yeah. And at a time when we're missing key players, Marcus is out, Martinez is out. It has been a bit of a ropey time in terms of injuries. Yeah. But to have him come back has been a boost. And you might look at it and go, we shouldn't be over reliant on an 18-year-old. But there's no denying that he's been a very, very important player for Manchester United this season. You look at some of his performances. I go back to the Fulham game where he got that last-minute winner.
Yeah.
I mean, that was sort of one of the sort of highlights around that time, wasn't it? Because that kept us going.
Just
kept
before
us
the World Cup, like
just before the World Cup.
Yeah.
Gave us that boost before the World Cup. Marcus goes away, has a fantastic World Cup. Martinez goes away, has a fantastic World Cup. Varane has a great World Cup as well. They all come back, the sales are up, and that has helped that sort of positivity that we've seen around Manchester United. Yeah. So to lose him the way we did, which was sort of a bit odd, wasn't it, that injury? I was there at the game, and we thought he was just, at first I thought he was play acting a bit, like, come on, get up. And it was actually a bit more serious than that. To have him back and performing is great, because you always worry about teenagers, youngsters, when they get an injury, is it going to affect him? But he seems to have shrugged it off and come back as strong as he ever was. There was a bit of a debate going on in the comments and the chat about Jadon Sancho.
Yep.
Bit divided. Maka thought he had a good game. Some comments didn't. What do you make of it?
I don't know what like Martial as well. I don't know what is considered a good game for them, because I know when Rashford's playing, when Bruno's playing, I can tell you what a good game is. Yeah. Because they look constantly threatening. They look like they might score at any time. They look like Bruno's pinging balls in behind, playing these like beautiful passes through the lines, finding people over the top. Like I've seen a lot of great performances from them this season, and I can detail bullet point list of here's what Rashford looks like when he's having a great game. Here's what Bruno, like I can't tell you what Sancho does when he's having a great game. Not maybe that's because he's not had a lot, but also because it's quite sort of, it's almost like the one before the one, if you know what I mean. Like he don't get the assist or the goal, he does the bit before that, and sometimes that's crucial, but it can be almost impossible to evaluate exactly how much he's helping a team. Yeah. I don't know if he is. Is he making us much harder to beat? Is he making us better? Or is he not really doing anything? I actually don't know, and I'm not trying to be critical even, because I don't feel like he had a bad game. I know he didn't have a bad game. He wasn't shit. But then what can you show me that he did where you can definitely say that made us better today, that helped us win today? That's my only thing with him. I think Martial's a similar type of player where he gets to touch on the ball and he's, passes it around the corner, but the ball just stays on the edge of the 18-yard line for ages. Do you know what I mean? They just sort of pass it 1-2 between them on the edge of the 18 and nothing happens. And you say, all right, well, it helped us keep control of the game, but that's quite difficult for a fan, especially one watching it on telly, I'm not in the ground, to say, yeah, that really helped us win today. So I don't think he had a bad game, Sancho. I think he's just maybe a bit unfortunate and maybe could just do with a bit more end product to really be able to say, look, I did that today. Because he has these games where I don't know what happened. I don't know what he did. Is that unfair, do you think? Or
no, I kind of do get what you mean. I think there was moments, and I think the issue I've got with Sancho is I like the kid. I just feel that even in his better games, there's still moments where he does things that frustrate me a little bit. Like there's a couple of times when we could have cleared the ball and he didn't. He sort of didn't. I was like, get stuck in is the right term. He was just a bit wasteful with it, or he didn't commit himself when he should have committed himself, and we could have won the ball, and then we end up sort of being under pressure, and he just needs to find that out. If he's going to have a future at United, I just feel like those little moments can end up costing him, and Erik ten Hag might look at it and go, he obviously values the defensive part of his wingers' games. You look at the way that Antony, for example, tracks back, it's very good, but with Jadon Sancho, I feel that defensively he can be found a little wanting. Obviously for the goal, he got involved. It was him that won the ball back, so he did well there. And in the second half as well, just before he got subbed, I thought he was having some good moments on the ball as well. He just needs that little bit of consistency. And I don't even mean game to game, I mean within a game. Within a game, have a good game for the game. Don't have a good game for a bit of it and then a bad, do you know what I mean?
Have a fully good game for the full game.
Let's have a bit of that. But he wasn't alone. I thought Antony was similar. Antony did some really good things, but then some really frustrating things. And one sort of bugbear I've got with Antony, because I like Antony, I think he's a good talent, is his final decision, not even his decision making. I don't mind him shooting. It's his final touch. He just lets him down. He just either doesn't hit the target, hits it into a man, or picks the wrong pass. He did it a couple of times where there was one shot he had with his right foot that went well wide. He just scuffed it wide. Another shot when we were breaking and he hit it straight into the defender. Another one where we're through. He's through. You think just get your shot off, and he slows it down, and you just think you through there. You through on goal. Like, run with it and just have a shot. Do you know what I mean? Like, he got into the box, just let rip with your left foot, and he slops it down. To be fair, we kept possession, but I just feel like with them two, there's just little things they need to iron out if they are going to have a successful career at Manchester United.
Yeah, and the thing with Sancho as well is that some people in the comments saying he gets in good positions but there's no pass on, or he's not about like goals and assists. He does other things. He helps in the build-up. But
you can't have an attacker who's not about goals and assists. That's
no.
nonsense.
And
also at Dortmund, he was one of the most productive players on the planet.
Yeah, that's exactly the point.
We didn't buy him because he's not about goals or assists.
In 2018-19, he got 13 goals, 20 assists. In 2019-20, he got 20 goals, 20 assists.
That's why we got him.
Yeah, the season before we got him, he got 16 goals, 20 assists. Like, he's literally the epitome of almost like more output than performance.
Yeah.
Like, he's like Bruno got accused of stat padding or whatever. People used to say the same about Sancho, which I think is rubbish.
People say about Marcus.
Yeah, I think it's rubbish. I don't think you can't stat pad in football. It's too difficult and there's too many players on the pitch. You can't funnel everything through one person like you do in other sports. But he was accused of that because he literally wouldn't always have a great game. Fucking hell, a goal and 2 assists today. Like, that's what he did. That's what he was all about. So it's hard to now take and say, oh, that doesn't count, that doesn't matter for him, when that's basically what he's built his reputation on. Certainly one of the reasons we bought him is because he was so prolific with goals and assists. So, yeah, hopefully we'll start to see more of that next season.
Yeah, we will. I'm going to wrap it up there. Any comments and chats before I do?
Yes, Daniel Berry says so many excuses for players. Michael Oyem, which is so close to Michael Owen, says, I'd rather see Garnacho and Pellistri than Sancho and Antony. Interesting. I think I wouldn't punish, I don't think it's punishing Garnacho to start him, but I wouldn't hinder the correct route to the first team for him for the sake of punishing Sancho or Antony. No. I think coming on as a sub, building him up slowly is the right way to bring him.
And also Pellistri. He's had some good cameos, but the jury's well and true out. I know you can argue the jury's out with all of them, but Pellistri, I think there's a good chance he might go on loan next season. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. So we'll wait and see anyway.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to wrap it up there. Make sure if you're not done already, you are hitting like, share and subscribe. Going to be hearing from Andy Tate and Stephen Alson as well, so make sure you check out those videos. Manchester United almost there, 1 point away from Champions League football next season. We've missed it. That's been Joe Smith. Joe, where can people find you?
Sloppy Joe's podcast episode out yesterday. Go and check that out.
You know where to find me as well, Jay Martis. So this has been the live review. Thanks for watching.